your first concern is making sure you're all healthy. If your body's not healthy, it's going to be tough to play. So your best availability, or your best ability is availability, everybody says. So getting that right with everybody, and then making sure we're all on the film, and get ready to go for this week and be as sharp as we can. Yeah, it's a deep dive every week. So watching all that we can, catching up on as much as we can on the school down the road, and seeing what they bring to the table. Definitely see it differently than when I got here. I got a little bit of a taste of it. My senior year of high school, I was committed here, and then I went to watch us play basketball in Chicago, in the Big Ten championship game. We sat next to two fans from the school down the road, and so I learned a little bit of it from just interacting with those people and learned what they're about. And ever since then, it's grown from there. And it's a lot different once you actually play in the game and once you're actually in it and you understand what it's about. Yes and no. You don't truly know what it's like until you are out there, but you hear from the former players, most importantly. You hear from the fans. You hear from your former coaches, but the most important guys is the former players. When you hear what it means to them and what they think about the school down the road and what they think about the game, you really get to understand, and it kind of fuels you. Yeah, there are some similarities. They got obviously some guys back from last year that we played against. So there's some similarities. There's also some new things that they bring, some new wrinkles. So we're just getting ready for them, and we're getting ready for the game. Yeah, me personally, I haven't played there with fans, myself. So you get ready throughout the week, crowd noise. But at the same time, we've played in big stadiums, very big stadiums, big atmospheres, big-time games over the past year or two. So, some guys have experienced that, and some guys haven't. So the guys that haven't, they'll get ready to go, and they'll have to adapt quickly. Yeah, it was good to get the win, last week or 2 weeks ago, however you want to put it, and get back into the flow of things. And it's a new week, new opponent, and so we're getting ready for this one, and we're gonna have to go and play well, and we're preparing to do that. Yeah, that was a good win for us 2 years ago. We did enough to win. Went over there, and obviously, like you said, there weren't very many fans there, but we went there, got the win. Helped us out with moving forward. I didn't really spring our season forward or anything, so we didn't end up that well that season. But it's always a good thing to beat the guys down the road, and so. There were, like you said, a lot of guys on that team, so we remember that game, and I guess you can use whatever you want from that game. But that was 2 years ago, so that's a while back. We'll see that stuff, here and there. I'd be lying if I didn't say that we see that stuff, but we really don't pay attention to that. We're not sports bettors. We're not hanging out in Vegas, so we're not worried about the lines and stuff like that. So we're focused on us and going to play our best football, and we'll add it up at the end. And if we go out and play our best football, then we can be happy with ourselves with what happens at the end. Yeah, you hear that, and people are going to say that because that's the obvious thing. But Ken would be the first guy to tell you that there was more than just him. Obviously, I love the guy. He's the best player I've ever played with, and you see him doing big things on Sundays already. So obviously he's a great player, but at the same time, we had other players that did really good things last year too. Different circumstances this year compared to last year, and it's two different teams, two completely different teams. So obviously Ken was a great player, still is a great player in the NFL, but there was other things that were different between this year and last year too. From a football perspective, it's mostly the former players. To be honest with you, we have coaches on our staff that played here too, so they share what it's like, and you quickly realize just being around it and being in the program, what the rivalry is about.
Is there anything on it?
Probably. There's a couple things that happen usually in that game that don't normally happen in other weeks. Sometimes they do, but that's just because some guy's being stupid on the other team. But this game, those things happen throughout the game, a decent amount. Yeah, you see him. He's with us, and our job is to keep him here. So in our meeting room, and I guess we see him every day this week. So yeah, that's the mindset, and that's what it's like to look at him today and throughout the year. Yeah, we're just executing better. We're on the same page. Did a good job communicating, and when it mattered, we made plays. So we talk about trusting our training, and we did that 2 weeks ago, and gonna have to keep doing that moving forward and continue that progress.
When Mel's up.
Yeah, there's 2 times. You go into a game with a plan of having an idea of what we can be good at in any game, and then there are other times where you adjust to what's happening in the game. And so last year I think it was more of an adjustment in game, and I think 2 years ago it was more of going into the game. That was what our plan was. So Coach Johnson can do both. I trust him in his play calls, and so that'll be the same scenario this week. It won't be anything magical that we've never done before. So that'll be what we do going into the game. You can definitely if you use that time properly, you can be very prepared. You do your best every week to be as prepared as you can be, but having an extra week, naturally you're gonna have more time to watch film and more time to talk with the guys. So if you use the time properly, then yeah, you can probably be a little more prepared. Then I don't think we look at our schedule and try to pigeonhole and say, oh, well, it'd be great to play them this week. It'd be great to play them this week. Our mindset is that it doesn't really matter when we're playing them. We're going to be at our best and do our best to be as prepared as we can and be ready to go mentally and physically. So I don't think you can say, hey, this is a great time, this is a great time. The game was scheduled, a while ago, so we knew this is when it was going to be. It's been this week for the past however many years, and so this is when we're playing them.